What is going on, Earth signs? This is your girl Venus Archangel here with another love reading for you guys. If you're unsure of your placements, go ahead and check the description box below. Also guys, please remember that these readings may not resonate with everybody, and that is totally fine. With all that said, let's go ahead and see what is going on in your love lives for November 9th, Friday 2018. Okay, let's go ahead and see what is going on in your love lives, fam. All right, I think we're good. Let's see what we got. 7 of Pentacles. Uh-oh. And the Chariot. Uh-oh. This has to do with willpower. You got everything it takes. Oh, shoot. No wonder. Okay. That's a hard one. Your underlying energies. The Knight of Pentacles. Underneath that, the Magician. Yes, and I feel like there was a period in time where you guys felt way more confident than you have been recently. And I know it's been a hard road, but the thing is that the Knight of Pentacles is indicating to me that there is this need to keep pushing forward, keep moving, to keep fighting, to keep, in a way, keep your head down and do the diligent work. The Magician talks about having everything that you need, the skills available to you, and it's about applying them now, but to commit to the thing that you're trying to build, commit to the creation that you're trying to make a reality, to the relationship that you're involved in, to you know, whatever you've got going on, whatever you're trying to, you know, whatever you initially invested your time in. The Knight of Pentacles to me can indicate kind of someone that has one foot in and one foot out, but not necessarily saying anything about anything. You know, they're doing the research, they're getting more information, they're doing the hard, you know, the hardcore, scanning for information. You know, like they're looking over the contract. So for me, the Knight of Pentacles is not committing to anything because he wants to be sure that what he commits to is something that he can truly, you know, handle, do successfully, and make sure that he's got it precisely. This is someone that moves very meticulously and moves very slowly. Now, the thing is too, with the heart of your reading, it definitely kind of screams to me that there is this sort of feeling of not really sure about how things, you know, can move forward, how to move forward. Not necessarily like, obviously, I think you do know, but it's more of like, if this is something that you are wanting to do, if this is something you really want to push forward. And I think that honestly, you may want to continue to move forward. It's just about what is next, what effort is needed to be put into it. The 7 of Pentacles can to me indicate that somebody has one foot in and one foot out. They're not necessarily 100% committed to the thing. They're analyzing. They're kind of doing what the Knight of Pentacles does, is doing research and kind of getting more information. They're waiting, but they're also trying to get a better idea of what is to come if they continue to move forward, if they decide to move forward here. Because even though the 7 of Pentacles isn't necessarily a choice per se, it is internally making a decision about whether you're committed or not. You know, if this is a waste of time or this is something you truly want to invest in. So the challenge is kind of figuring out whether or not this is worth the worth the effort and the hard work necessary to, you know, to get to where you want to be. But the crossing aspect is the Chariot. Now, I feel like the thing is the biggest, deciding factor with this, you know, whatever you're trying to make work right now, has a lot to do with its time, its speed, its progress. Now, it also can indicate to me that has a lot to do with willpower, because the Chariot does talk about willpower. You know, you have to balance your head and your heart, you know, kind of control the urges of kind of, you know, of frustration, and as well as, you know, balancing your needs, your emotional needs, etc. Balancing your head and your heart and moving forward with great, you know, progression, you know, gaining momentum, having a good balance, having your head, you know, on your shoulders, adjusted on your shoulders, as well as making sure that you're constantly being taken care of emotionally. That does build momentum. And I feel like right now the horse is, you know, the Chariot's a little imbalanced at this moment, and I feel like it's because of great reason. There's something that definitely knocked you off of it for a little bit, or I think there's some things that kind of knocked your horse kind of a little, knocked your Chariot a little bit off to the side. So, you know, there's a little, you know, you have to kind of find your rhythm again. And I feel like, you know, there is this, you know, sense of victory that kind of feels suppressed. like you have you have 2 victory cards here and a card of change, and that's big, because with you guys trying to make something happen, you have something that's definitely, you know, rocked the boat a little bit, shook your world, and then you're trying to kind of get to a place where you can truly feel like you're headed in the direction that you want to, you know, create. For some of you guys, you may be actually happy about the progress that you've been making. The 7 of Pentacles can indicate that too, right? Reflecting and looking at all the work that you put in. But how the Tower works is that it destroys something to get to a restart, to get something reset. And I feel like for some of you guys, you may feel like you're not in a victorious place right now. You may not be feeling, you may be feeling a little discouraged at this moment, which can also indicate, you know, that's can also knock you, you know, your balance off a little bit. But I feel like there is a purpose for everything, right? So even though it's hard to see it right now, I feel like there is something. I think like this clean slate is actually better than you realize that right now. And hopefully you haven't had to scrap everything and have to start from scratch. But this, you know, this opportunity to start fresh can benefit you in a very good way. It's all about how you see it. Now, in the past, you have the Emperor here. You definitely were in control. You felt like very empowered, you know, definitely taking control of situations, you know, doing the best that you could. You had a plan and you were definitely executing it, working, very diligent and very disciplined, because I see the Emperor as very disciplined. I see the Justice card is kind of a disciplinary energy as well, but the Emperor is I feel is definitely the symbolic card here for discipline. So definitely working your behinds off. But then you have this Tower, and it's definitely crazy. Something definitely unexpected came about. Now the Chariot being crossing this too can indicate things have definitely knocked you off your horse for a little bit. You know, it's definitely a reality check sometimes too. I see the Tower as a reality check. Some of you guys may have been the Tower yourselves. Maybe you guys decided to just say, you know what, this is how it's gonna be, and it's dismantled everything. It just shattered and destroyed the foundation, but for good reason, right? I feel like you definitely were in control. So how is this Tower out of your control here? Now, sometimes it can kind of feel like you don't have any control here with the Chariot crossing the Tower, because it may be that something did come out of your control. Maybe you were under control, then all of a sudden something, you know, broke the camel's back, and you're kind of feeling like, I'm out of control. You know, there's no way I can do this without, you know, without me doing this. There may have been a struggle here as far as control goes. But that's the thing, right? There may have been, like I said, this is a reset button. Something started over for you to start from scratch. This may be a hidden victory, a victory in which, you know, you may have had to sacrifice your control, and that's okay, because it's going to get you to where you want to be, right? Because the Queen of Wands is your future. This is definitely talking about you guys either feeling more confident in what you're doing and executing, but this can also indicate you guys feeling more prepared and ready to go than ever. And also, it could also indicate that you guys, you know, are fearless, more fearless than ever. When it comes to approaching situations that definitely weren't planned, because that Tower energy is never in a million years has it been planned, unless you have executed it on your own. But I feel like with this Queen of Wands energy, this is definitely a victory in disguise. I kind of feel like it's just remembering that, you know, the 7 of Pentacles doesn't always have to have that connotation of, I don't know if I really want to continue moving forward if everything's going to be out of your control. It could be like, okay, I've done a really great job with how I've been pushing forward. How can I move on? But what do I need to do to continue to move forward, right? It can always have that optimistic view. And with the Queen of Wands in the future, I do see it having an optimistic approach. Now, your goal, aim, ambition is the 5 of Swords. Now, the 5 of Swords can indicate ruthless behavior, kind of doing things that are, you know, that may feel like, you know, an empty victory, kind of choosing something over the other. That, you know, one that are both greatly significant to you. And I feel like there may be some sort of sacrifice. Now, again, the situation is showing the Queen of Wands. You're not typically the Queen of Wands, guys. Somebody may be around you right now, or there's somebody that you see is very popular, very attractive, someone that is, you know, someone that you feel is very active, very strong-willed in themselves. Again, I feel like this is kind of This person exerts their will too. This could be an Aries, but it could also be a Leo, Sagittarius, but it doesn't have to be this, the fire signs. It could be just someone that you feel is very passionate or you feel very passionate about. Okay. But the purpose of this thing here with the Five of Swords is like, I feel like it's talking about keeping your head down and focusing on what you need to do at all times. Because again, right, with all these other factors, with this Tower energy, it's easy for things to kind of get out of hand and for it to sabotage everything that you've built. You know, everything that's come along. And even though you have to start from scratch, there is something internally that it can never be taken away from you. It's about realizing the situation that you got in hand and utilizing what you have and what you know to really get you going, to get you where you want to be. So with the Five of Swords here, I don't think this is necessarily talking about, about sacrifice, even though there is something you do sacrifice here, and like it's clear, right? With the Chariot and the Tower, you do leave something there, but it's to help you get to a proper balance where you're in control of yourself instead of maybe feeling like somebody's taking control of you, or maybe putting your hands in too many baskets where you're you're very controlling in any area that doesn't really affect you and actually hindering you in a way. Now, again, that's for some of you guys. That may not resonate for a lot of you guys out here. But I do feel like this Five of Swords is saying, focus on what you can do, focus on what you can do. Don't worry about anybody else. Don't worry about how things are going in someone else's world. And it's talking about just focusing on your activity. Five of Swords can also indicate that, there is a certain sacrifice here, like I said before. There's something you may have to sacrifice that may have to do with how controlling you are about your life, about how things are going to be steered in your direction. Because some things you just kind of have to give up to God, because, you have to have that trust that things will work out. If you've been too controlling in your own life and not letting things to flow, because that's what's necessary, right? Things to flow. And I think I did see the High Priestess. Wasn't it the High Priestess and the Temperance card that I saw for you guys when I was shuffling? Those two talks about letting, doing you, handling your own life, but allowing trust and God to do what it needs to do. Just being so things can flow. If you've been too rigid in holding on to something and trying to make things work your way, you may have to sacrifice that kind of, that certain grip, which is why maybe the Tower happened. To relieve yourself of a certain control, of a certain, something that you've been controlling that may be actually keeping you from making real progress. But that, again, may not resonate with everybody. So with all that said, let me go ahead and pull you guys your romance angels. See what you guys got. Okay, well then you guys have a lot of cards that come up here. Wow. So you guys have expressed your love. Okay, go ahead and make the romantic gesture, and let your friends help you. Ask for and support. Ask for and accept support from others. Very interesting. So I don't know if you guys have been trying to do things on your own. Again, that can make sense because you have the Five of Swords, the Chariot, and the Emperor here. It can be like a stronghold. Like you've been really, really, really buckling down and keeping things like, in your own way, not really wanting to budge, just unadjustable. And I feel like the Chariot made you the Tower pushed you to be a little bit more flexible, allowed you to kind of, not be so stiff like the Emperor can be. And I think that's what happened. Maybe there was a period in time where there was a bit too much, that you were taking on, and it didn't allow space for true growth, for true Empress energy, right? There's a lot of forcing. Now the Five of Swords can indicate that there's a lot of forcing something to happen. Be careful not doing that, or not to do that, because it can affect a lot of things in your life. So I feel like letting your friends help you could indicate that, it's okay to relieve control. It's okay to allow people in to help you. And I feel like if things have just crumbled, it could be that you've maybe taken too much stuff on, and you may just need to ask people to help you and to assist you on things, right? Allowing your friends help you is asking you to be very passive right now. I mean, not extremely, but take some support where you can get it. Of course, do your research, background check, and, do whatever you feel like you need to do to feel like you can have confidence in this person's commitment to helping you move forward. But still allow yourself to be more passive. The Queen of Wands, she is the most active out of all the queens, but she still has a very passive energy about her. So maybe the situation where the Queen of Wands is coming up in your future isn't just someone else or someone that you find is very attractive, someone that can get the work done that you need to work on. This could be you feeling more confident in being passive and allowing people to help you to get to your goals. Right? Even though she doesn't need anybody to help her get to her goals, she still does. Very similar to the Queen of Pentacles. She knows she can get to a beautiful palace on her own, or create a beautiful palace on her own. But she has her husband. She can make it work a lot faster and a lot more efficiently. Okay? So don't be so staunch on doing things on your own. The Five of Swords can indicate that too, right? Cutting people off, just cutting ties off, and just cutting people away because you don't want to release that control. If you're doing that, right, then you're sacrificing, sacrificing something that can actually benefit you. So there may be a need to compromise as well. But I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys very soon. Love you. And I'll see you later. Bye, guys.